to the Christmas Day edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and a very, very Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you so much for watching our little channel where we solve Sudoku every day. It's a great privilege and a pleasure to do this, and I'm recording this live on Christmas morning. I hope Santa has visited you all and brought you all copious amounts of presents, and perhaps a chocolate coin or two as well. What are we doing today? Well, look at this. It's a beautiful festive puzzle called Deck the Halls by none other than Blobz, about whom I shall say more in a few moments' time. But I absolutely love the look of this, with baubles, a Christmas bell, and that's holly, of course. I'm not sure how difficult this puzzle is, by the way, but the testers say that this is an absolutely perfect puzzle for the 25th of December, and I'm very much looking forward to having a go at it. But I thought we would start today's edition not with any Sudoku solving, but with a bit of poetry reading, if you don't mind. I know that we digress into all sorts of things on the channel. I hope you can forgive us for that. But Sally wrote in with the most remarkable Christmas poem. It's called A Sudoku from St. Nicholas. It's going to take me a little while to read because it is not just one or two verses. But this is so good. It's so good. Both Mark and I are real. We love our poetry, as you'll know if you've followed my readings of particularly Brian Bilston's poems over the years. But this is really sensationally good, and I think, Sally, your husband's Ross, and you have two daughters, maybe Edie and Melody. So I wish you a very happy Christmas, obviously, and I want to thank you so much for sending me what I think is the best poem we've ever been sent. So here it is, Sally's poem, A Sudoku from St. Nicholas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the net two creatures were stirring. They can't relax yet. These solves need recording, puzzles set with great care by Fistamafel, Marty Sears, James Sinclair. So whilst most of the world were all snug in their beds, poor Simon and Mark were still scratching their heads. But so long as their logic was free from mistakes, they'd soon reach their well-deserved fun festive breaks. When from Mark's PC came a noise loud and violent. Oh, sorry, my sound alerts should be on silent. But this was an email sent by a stranger, which read, Please help. Christmas is in great danger. All the presents are wrapped, loaded into the sleigh, ready for opening on Christmas Day. But Santa's refusing to leave, just our luck. He's been doing Sudoku, and it seems he is stuck. I've been watching your channel. Do you think you can help? Signed, yours sincerely, Santa's Chief Elf. Mark didn't hesitate. Course we'll help you. Let's look at the puzzle and see what we can do. Mark hit send, and in no time at all, from the North Pole came a video call. Mark clicked accept, and to his delight, his eyes were met with a magical sight. A cavern resplendent in Christmas decor, of tinsel and baubles and bright lights galore. Elves scuttled about, robins roosted up high, and even a few of the reindeer waltzed by. But none of the magic far off in this scene could compare to the man dominating Mark's screen. He was dressed all in red from his head to his toes, with a round pair of glasses perched there on his nose, and brown crumbs on his coat. Did Santa partake, not in mince pies, but perhaps chocolate cake? His beard and his hair were as white as the snow, and he greeted them both with a loud ho, ho, ho. For as Mark was picking his chin off the floor, at the side of his screen he suddenly saw a familiar face looking rather perplexed. Oh, hang on, said Simon, I need the right specs. So with the right glasses and a brief explanation, Simon was abreast of the strange situation. "It's no use," sighed Santa. "I've been trying for ages. I've used colours and pencil-marked all of the cages, but I just can't get through it. This puzzle's too hard." "Well, of course," exclaimed Simon. "The setter is Ard." St. Nick shared his screen, explained what he did, and for 1 or 2 minutes they stared at the grid. After several deep sighs and one shout of bobbins, which startled an elf and a couple of robins, Simon Sudden finally seemed to make a decision, and placed 3 in the corner, which then lost its religion. Together they battled this puzzle so vexing, through pairs and triples and even an X-wing. Oh, how Santa laughed and his belly did jingle when Mark helped uncover a naked single. And because he promised that he would keep it, Simon even let St. Nick in on the secret. The friends battled on, their spirits unbroken, hoping the puzzle would soon crack wide open, when with 2 in row 8 and a 5 in box 1, this puzzly behemoth was finally done. Mark sighed with relief, and so did St. Nick, as Simon gave the like button a tick. "Oh, thank you," said Santa. "Thank you, my friends. Without you I'd be here until the year ends. 'Fraid I can't hang about. There's still so much to do. I've got gifts to deliver from Japan to Peru. I'd best say goodbye and be off on my sleigh. I do hope that Maverick stays out of my way." He smiled and he waved and he winked, and then the call disconnected. All was still once again. Mark sat for a minute after Santa was gone, trying to work out what just went on. Then he glanced at his screen and exclaimed, "Oh, Lord!" for there was the puzzle he was meant to record. Mark smiled wryly, accepting defeat. He just couldn't leave this solve half complete. So chuckling slightly and shaking his head, he turned on his webcam, sat up straight and said, "Well, that was good fun, but it's time to dive back in. So happy Christmas to all. Now let's get cracking." That is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Sally, thank you so much. I love that. I think it's brilliant. Give Sally all the plaudits in the comments, please. Yeah, now we'll move on to other things. Oh, well, actually, this puzzle is by Blobz. Blobz deserves great credit as well for not only creating one of the most enjoyed Patreon rewards we had all of last year, which was the Lord of the Rings hunt, but Blobz has come up with a sequel which is even better. The puzzles are just astonishing. Let me just show you a quick trailer for what is coming on the 1st of January, a puzzle hunt by Blobz themed on, you've guessed it, there it is, The Hobbit. Absolutely wonderful stuff. 19 puzzles in all, and yeah, look out for that. It's a couple of bucks to join us on Patreon, and give yourselves a puzzly Christmas present if you haven't got it already. And now I have birthdays to do today. It must be a bit strange to have a birthday on Christmas Day, but the following people I'm going to wish. I guess you might not have chocolate cake, you might have Christmas cake. Anyway, Alexander, your girlfriend Celine wrote to us and said that you both watch before bed every night, and could I wish you a happy birthday today? I can, of course, Alexander. I hope it is an absolutely wonderful day. Next, Bill, your wife Nicole wrote to us. She told us you love the channel and watch most nights also before bed. So Bill, many happy returns. And then finally, Noel, your son Pete wrote to us and did confirm you would be having Christmas cake today rather than chocolate cake. And Noel, I wish you a very happy birthday. And that is, I think, all the news. So let us get on with Deck the Halls by Blobz, and I will read you the rules of this puzzle. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply, so we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Adjacent digits along the holly outline, green, differ by at least 5. So if that square is a 1, this square would have to be at least 6, because it needs to be at least 5 different from 1. Box borders divide the bell the bell outline brackets yellow into segments that sum to the same value. So normally this would be a blue bell, because not because it was a flower, but because blue is normally the colour of line that we use for so-called region sum lines. But today Blobz is using yellow, which is absolutely perfect given the golden bell. So how does it work? Well, the way it works is that section of digits, you sum those three up, because they're the only, because the box borders have divided the bell into segments. This is one segment, that's going to be another segment, that's going to be another segment, that's going to be another segment, and then there's a very small segment at the top. And each of these coloured segments contains digits that sum to the same number, which we're going to have to discover. It's not revealed to us as yet. So that is how bells work. Now, next rule. Digits on baubles, pink, form a consecutive sequence in any order. Okay, normally that rule is expressed as a non-repeating consecutive sequence in any order, but I can actually see you can't repeat digits on these baubles because they all live in an individual box. So imagine this square was a 1. Then we would immediately know these digits had to be 2, 3 and 4 because the digits have to be consecutive. And finally, digits in white circles must appear at least once in the surrounding 2 by 2 cells. So this 5 clue here is saying there is at least one 5 in those 4 cells. There is at least one 9 in those 4 cells. There's at least one 2 in those 4 cells. And they are all of the rules. Do have a go. The way to play, as usual, is to click the link under the video. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, we might have to talk about a secret or two to get cracking here. Actually, let me just... there is a coincidence, look. We've got 8 in this 2 by 2 and 8 in that 2 by 2. So the 8 in row 1 we might want to think about. It has to be in one of those 3 squares. Obviously it can't be here and it can't be here because of these quadruple clues. The only other digit that seems to repeat in a quadruple clue is a 2. It doesn't repeat in a sort of in a particularly coincident way, does it? So 1, 2 and 3 on that one looks interesting. It's probably going to be... I don't know, actually. Let's just think about the bell quickly, because there's a simple point I can see about the bell, and that's related to sort of the headpiece of the bell. This digit is the sum of those 3 digits, and the sum of those 3, and the sum of those 3. Now, 3 different digits in Sudoku, the minimum they could be would be 1, 2 and 3. So this bell is at least a 6, because 1, 2 and 3 add up to 6, and anything larger is obviously going to be 7, 8 or 9. Now, I wonder if we can rule out some of this. Let's think about this. So if it was 6, we'd have all sorts of 1, 2, 3 triples. Oh, no, yeah, that... okay, it can't be 6 or 7. The reason it can't be 6 or 7 is that this 3-cell segment here... Oh, let's choose a better colour. Let's make this purple. And that segment there will make blue. Now, this has to have a different composition of digits to this, because otherwise, imagine this was 1, 2, 3. This cell could not be a 1, 2 or a 3. So there's no way you can have... If this is such that there is only one combination of 3 Sudoku digits that can add up to the total, which would be true for 6, 1, 2, 3, and would be true for 7, 1, 2, 4, these 2 lines could not coexist. So this is at least an 8. 8 could work if this was, say, 1, 2, 5 and that was 1, 3, 4. There are 2 ways of making 8 in 3 different digits, and there are 3 ways of making 9 in 3 different digits. So, I'm not sure if we want to think more about that. I I feel like this 1, 2, 3 is perhaps doing something. If this was 8, there would be a 1 there, a 1 there, a 1 in one of those. Which would in fact have to be here, because if the 1 was there, you couldn't put a 1 at all around the 1, 2, 3 quadruple clue. Sorry, I'm not quite seeing it. Oh, that's weird. I've just seen another way that I can prove that this is at least 8. I didn't see this before, but I'll tell you what it is in case it's of any interest. Look at that sequence. Those digits all have to be different, don't they? Because they're all in the same row. So the minimum sum of those blue squares is 15, the triangular number for 5. And that's because obviously if we fill these digits with the absolute minimum that we put into them, they would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quintuple. And 1, 2, 3 and 5 add up to 15. And obviously there are 2 segments there. So we couldn't have it adding up to 15 because those digits in total must add up to an even number, so that when we split it in half, we can get an integer that we can write in here. So 15 would be an impossible total, but 16 would work. So these blue squares do add up to 16 or 18, which means they definitely do include a 1, they definitely include a 2, but they don't necessarily include a 3, because what you could do is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, that would add up to 18. If this was 9, but no, that doesn't work. Oh no, it does. No, it does work. Okay. It probably works. I can't immediately see why it doesn't work. So there is definitely a 1 and a 2 in blue somewhere. And there may or may not be a 3. But if this was 8, there would be only one combination of blue, because these would have to add up to 16, which would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, that's it. Right. So this is 9, for a rather cute reason, actually. Let me show you. Let's imagine this was 8 for a moment. Now what I'm saying is, because these have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 to make blue add up to 16, how do we make the domino here work? Well, this is going to have to be a 6-2 pair, because you can't make a 3-cell segment add up to only 8 if you put the 6 in here. If you put the 6 in it, 6 plus 1 plus 2, which is the minimum, adds up to 9. So the 6 has to be on its own with an accompanying digit to add up to 8. But 2, 6 is not going to work for a bauble, is it? Because there's no 4-cell sequence that exists anymore in Sudoku. If you think about, imagine you line up the digits 1 to 9 in front of you, and you knock out 2 and you knock out 6. Where are you going to get 4 consecutive digits from? Between 2 and 6, you've only got 3, 4, and 5, and above 6, you've only got 7, 8, and 9. So that doesn't work. It doesn't work. So this is 9, which means these do add up to 18. But there's going to be all sorts of ways that this could work. Perhaps... No, actually, I'm wrong. Oh, I was going to actually think about this segment, because there are 3 ways that 9 adds up to. Sorry, I'm sort of, my brain is trying to do the logic at the same time my mouth is speaking, and my mouth is behind my brain, and then everything broke down. So let's go back. So what I was thinking about is there are 3 ways of making 9 in 3 different digits. Now those ways are 1, 2, 6. Now we know this isn't 1, 2, 6, because if it was 1, 2, 6, this bauble couldn't be completed. And we know that because we tried 2, 6 here and it didn't work for that bauble. So 1, 2, 6 is just even worse over here. So this is either 1, 3, 5, which would make the bauble 6, 7, 8, 9. Which might work. Don't know. Can't see why that doesn't work. Or it's 2, 3, 4. And if it's 2, 3, 4, I think this has options. But that's rather beautiful. Of course. This has been available for 8. Well, actually, it doesn't do very much, but it's really lovely. 9 is on the bauble, isn't it? Because you can't make a 3-cell segment add up to 9 if you include a 9 in the segment. So 9 is not in that segment, 9 is not in the column, so 9 is on the bauble somewhere. Once an extreme digit goes on a bauble, you can fill in the other digits on the bauble because the digits have to be consecutive. So this is 9, 8, 7, 6. These are, look, I'll please mark, I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in there. But we know, don't we, there's a 3 on this segment because it's either 2, 3, 4 or 1, 3, 5. So there is no 3 down here. And that means this isn't 3, 6, which we probably, yeah, we knew that. Hang on. Hang on. Do we have a completely free choice for this domino or not? It's obviously not 3, 6 now because we've just said 3 is hypothecated to the right-hand side of the blue segment. 1, 8 would definitely work because 1 and 8 would leave a wealth of opportunities to create a 4-cell segment on the bauble. 2, 7 would, I presume, also work because then we've got 3, 4, 5, 6 we could put on the bauble. 3, 6 doesn't work. That's lovely. 4, 5 doesn't work because if this was a 4, 5 pair, let me just put it in to show you why it doesn't work. How do you make the bauble? The bauble needs to be 4 consecutive digits, so the only option would be 6, 7, 8, 9. But then, where would we put 6, 7, 8, and 9 in row 7? They'd all have to fit into just those 3 cells. And that can't work. You can't put 4 different digits in 3 different Sudoku cells. So, this is either 1, 8 or 2, 7. Now, that I think is going to mean that we can get something on this bauble. It also means the low digit here, which is a 1 or a 2, is definitely in one of those squares. Oh, come on. Oh, there's... no, hang on. I think we're getting somewhere. I just can't quite see what to do next. Is it to do with the 1, 2 and 3 that have to be? If that was a high digit, these would have to be 1, 2, 3 triple. I'm not sure, actually. I can't see how to do that. Now, let's just think about this, though. If these were as wide apart as possible, so let's say they're 1 and 8, then we have to pick a 4-cell sequence from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that means that this bauble always has 4 and 5 on it. Because if you think about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's a 6-cell string. And we're picking 4 consecutive digits from it. So however we do that, there will always be 4 and 5 on this string. Now, what, if anything, does that mean? I don't know yet. There's something going on, isn't there? I'm not seeing it. I have a feeling there's more I can do. I think it's to do with this quadruple clue, but I can't quite see how it works. Now, there is a big lacuna in my approach to the puzzle so far, which is that I have not even thought about the holly, which is a German whispers holly, isn't it? Oh, no. Oh, bobbins. Okay. All right, let's just talk quickly about some secrets of German whispers lines. And there's one that's going to give me a digit immediately. I really hope this isn't going to affect anything I've been doing on the right. But the first thing, because each pair of adjacent digits on the holly have to differ by at least 5. How could you put 5 on the holly? If we put 5 on the holly, what's the next digit? It's got to be at least 5 different from 5. And if you go downwards, you get to 0 or negative numbers. If you go upwards, you get to 10 or higher. So 5 just cannot live on the holly. And I think that means that's a 5. Sorry. That's the first digit. That's a digit I would have got instantly if I'd focused on the holly at the start. But let's move on. There are more secrets of whispers. Now, the fact that 5 can't live on the holly means that we can think of every digit that we put on the holly as either having the character of being below 5 or above 5. And the interesting thing is you can't have 2 from the same set adjacent to one another. Let's say this was a lower than 5 digit. Could this also be lower than 5? No, because the furthest apart those could be would be 1 and 4, and they are not 5 apart, they're 3 apart. So what you're going to get on on the holly here is this oscillation. Now we don't know obviously whether this digit is high or low, but we do know the whole holly pattern will oscillate. So let's just oscillate along it ourselves. You see, that's immediately interesting. This is, oh dear. Yeah, okay, look. So that pattern of digits there, they all have the same polarity vis-a-vis 5. They're all either above 5 or below 5. So these are the other polarity. Let's give those a colour. Let's make those yellow. Oh, maybe. Oh, no, that's silly. I'm trying to pick something a bit more sensible. Let's go lime green. Okay. So, right. Now, the next thought that should automatically start to occur if you're familiar with whispers is to do with, the middly digits, the digits that are very close to 5, because 4 and 6 only have one partner from a Sudoku perspective. Imagine that was a 4. What would this digit be? It would have to be 9. It's the only Sudoku digit that's 5 apart from 4. If this is 6, this would have to be 1. And normally 4 and 6 is there. 4s and 6s are therefore quite constrained. Yeah. Could this be 4 or 6? Definitely not. I've got something. I've got something totally unrelated. This is good. This is good. Right, we're going to do this. I'm going to change tack altogether. But let me just complete that thought. That can't be 4, because obviously both of those would be 9. And for similar reasons, it can't be 6. There may be more we can do that, but I've seen something quite cute to do with this string. This sort of Stonehenge. What are they called? Steelers? Or, oh no, there's something else. There's another word. I think that's the technical word for... or is it the thing at the top? It's called something beginning with A, isn't it? Oh no. Or M. Oh, that's going to bug me now. I'll have to go and think about that afterwards. But I want to think about this string and this string together. Because there's something interesting about 3-cell strings of digits that sum to 9. They always include 2 low digits, by which I mean 2 of the digits 1, 2 and 3. Let's go through them. 1, 2, 6, so 1 and 2 are included. 1, 3, 5, 1 and 3 are included. 2, 3, 4, 2 and 3 are included. So I know that there are 2 low digits on that string. I don't know what they are, but there are definitely 2 low digits. Now, if this right-hand piece of Stonehenge was low polarity, so 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s, there would be too many low digits in these cells, because there are 2 from 1, 2 and 3 here, and 3 from 1, 2, 3 and 4 there. So that cannot be right, can it? So these digits have to be high polarity digits, which means that the green digits are low polarity digits. And that's probably going to help us. There's certainly some tidying up we can do vis-a-vis pencil marks. So that definitely can't be 4, because both of these would be 9. That can't be 4, both of these would be 9. That can't be 4, both of these would be 9. That can't be 4, both of these would be 9. That can't be 4. That can't be 4. So that is 4. There we go. 4, 9. That was quite cute. Now, can we just do that again somehow? It's annoying. Those two can both be 6, I think, because that would cause 1s here and here, or 1s here and here, and both of those seem to be reasonable. That can't be 6, because both of these would be 1. That can't be 6, both of these would be 1. So 6 is definitely in one of those two cells of box 4. And that must mean... well, it means there's a 1 in one of those two positions, doesn't it? So that is not a 1, which means this is not a 6. Now... all of the digits 1, 2 and 3 are used up in those cells, aren't they? Because we know there are 2 1s, 2s and 3s in this purple string. 9 can't go on this bauble. So 9 is in one of 2 places in box 8, which means 9 is in one of 2 places in box 2. This is a very good puzzle. It's really interesting how these lines operate together. I suspect what I should be able to do now is to do better with the whispers here. Let me just think about that for a few moments. Oh, 9 has to be around that quadruple clue. I've neglected these quadruple clues at the top a little. 5. Is it true? 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 is also quite restricted. Well, 8's definitely not on the bauble in box 8. Oh, how do we do this? We're so close to figuring it out, but I haven't figured it out. If that was 6, this would have a 3 on it then, and that 3 would put 3 on here. I see. I've got to be a bit careful here. Okay, here's quite an interesting point. Now, I'm going to slightly amend my colouring. I'm going to just make that blue. Now, the purple string of digits definitely includes 2 of the digits 1, 2 and 3. And the blue string of digits definitely includes 2 of the digits 1, 2 and 3. So there must be a coincident digit, at least one coincident digit between purple and blue, mustn't there? It's not possible that they don't have a coincident low digit. They might have 2 coincident low digits, but they definitely have 1. And if they definitely have 1, where does that digit go in box 8? It's got to go on the bauble. So the highest coincident digit would be 3, so there must be a 3 on the bauble. And if they both can, they definitely both can't contain 1, can they? Because that would make this bauble have 1 on it and 5, which is not enough because it's only a 4-cell consecutive string. So there is not, 1 is not coincident between these two things. And now 7 is not on this bauble. Okay, so where's 3 in relation to the funny clue? This 1, 2, 3 clue. Okay, well I'm quite pleased. 3 has to be there now. But the reason I'm quite pleased about that is I figured I could use this earlier, but I'm not sure I could now. I've still got to put 1 and 2 around it. So the low digit that's here is there. I know that. So this is either 2, 3, 4, 5 or 3, 4, 5, 6. It's one of those things. Oh, I think I'm right on the cusp of understanding this, and I just can't get it. I think it's to do with... So if this was 2, 3, 4 and this was 2, 3, 4, this would have 2, 3 and 4 on it, and 5. Oh no, that could be bad. Hang on, let me just check. No, that's fine. With recording on Christmas Day, I have narrow windows, but no, I'm still okay. I'm missing out on a little bit of champagne, but I'm happy to do that for you guys. Do not worry. Oh, look, if there was a 2 on here, there would be a 2 on there using this quadruple clue. If that's a 2, that wouldn't put pressure on the world, would it? That's not 9 by Sudoku. Maybe I should take advantage of low-hanging fruit in the form of Sudoku. 8 is in one of those. Is that doing something? Do we know what this is? I don't know. I've got something. Right, I can get 9 here, can't I? Yeah. Okay, so let's think about the other low digit that occurs in the blue segment. That's a 1 or a 2. I don't know where it goes, but what I do know is it's meant to be in one of those squares. So there's a 1 or a 2 in one of these. Don't know which one. But where do I then put it around that quadruple clue? It can't go there, because it would be in the same row as itself, and it can't go there, it would be in the same box as itself. So it goes exactly there. And that pushes the 9 down, look. And now 9. Oh, we're getting close, because if we could get a 9 on this one, it would be 9876. There's probably a reason that can't be. Oh no, there is a reason, actually. Oh, that's gorgeous. This is a gorgeous puzzle. I will say, you know, sometimes when you do a puzzle specially for a date, it's lovely to do it because it's, you know, it's redolent of the time. But it's incredibly good to find a puzzle that would on any day of the year get on Cracking the Cryptic, and this is definitely of that quality. It's beautiful. Why is this not 6, 7, 8, 9? Well, there would be too many 6, 7s, 8s and 9s in column 2. So you can't put 9 on that bauble. That gets me a 9 here. That doesn't seem to do anything. Well, okay, that's not 9, I've just noticed, because of this pencil mark. So that's 7 or 8. If it was 7, this would have to be a 1-2 pair. Okay, don't know if that does anything. But what we might want to do now is I will make that blue, and I will say that this digit is in one of those 2 squares and therefore is down there somewhere. Now, right, so this is gorgeous again. Okay, I know there's a low digit, a 1 or a 2 in that domino. I don't know which cell it is, but there is a low digit. And that means that 1 and 2 in box 8 are in those 3 squares. And that means there is no 2 on the bauble. So now I know the nature of the bauble. It is 3, 4, 5 and 6. And that means that this square has become interesting, because that now has to be a 7 or an 8. And why is that interesting? There's 7 or 8 by Sudoku in this box. Well, that makes a 7-8 pair here. It makes this square a 6, which makes those 2 double 1. which means this is not 1, so this is not 8. 1 is definitely in this domino. The low digit here, which is the orange digit, is down there. And we're very close now to cracking this, probably. That can't be 1 anymore, which is good, because that means that can't be 6. So we got a little bit further from that. That's a 6, that's a 1. 1 is now in one of those 3 squares. I've so neglected these things at the top, haven't I? That's probably what I should have focused on much earlier. Right, there's definitely a 9 in there. Which one? How do we resolve these 2s and 3s? If that... No, that's not true. If that's 7, they could both be 2. Or at least I think they could be. Now, what would happen if this was the orange digit? Then I'd have 2 orange digits here, 1 and 2, and I couldn't make these add up to 9. So this needs to be a high digit, and therefore that digit is in fact a 2 by dint of any number of things. Mathematics, the fact it had to be orange. This is therefore 1. So these squares include, so there's no 1 in here anymore. There is a 2. There is a 1 here. That is now an 8. So that's a 7. Can't go next to 3 because 7 and 3 are too close together. That becomes a 3, which means these have to be an 8-9 pair. That makes this a 7, which makes this a 2 in order to be 5 different. Now 2 around this quadruple clue over here has moved to the lower part of it. And the upshot of all this is, I don't know yet. Well, there's no 2 in this sequence adding up to 9. So this must be 1, 3, 5. Which means these squares are 6 and 4, and I know the order. And there must be a 5 on here now, mustn't there? Because we know this is a consecutive sequence. So there's no 5 in there. So there's a 5 in here. Oh, this is a 2-4 pair. That's totally obvious. I just hadn't seen it. And this sequence... this sequence is 2, 3, 4. Doesn't have a 1 in it. So these 2 squares are 5 and 8, which I know the order of using that old fair-weathered friend Sudoku. 5 goes in up here. That's not 3. That's not 2. That's not 4. So we get chocolate teapotted with the 2, 3, 4 combination. But what we do have is 5, 6, 8 at the top of the grid, and the 8 can't be in those squares. So the 8 goes right up there at the top. This becomes a 5, 6 pair. And... oh, I don't know. I think we could probably do that if I was cleverer, but I'm not seeing how to do it. Right, let's tidy up some pencil marks. 5 has to be on the bauble there at the bottom. 2, 3, and 4 in this column. So, and this string of digits here is not 1, 3, 5, because that would kill this square. So it's either 1, 2, 6 or 2, 3, 4. So it includes 2, and we know there's a 2 in one of those squares, so the 2 must go here. Which means there's a 2 up there by Sudoku. And these squares are they're not 1, 6 by Sudoku. This can't be 1 or 6. So this is a 2, 3, 4 combination, and we know the order. And that's unwinding the chocolate teapot over there, which is gorgeous. And now There's a 1-6 pair in box 6 in these two squares. These two squares are 8 and 7. And these two squares are 5 and something. 5 and 9. Oh, well, hang on. Yeah, that seems to be correct. Oh, yeah, I could have used this 8 earlier. I was wondering how I definitely knew these, but I do, and that's 9. Okay, so this is 9 and this is 5. So we can scrub 9 out of these two squares and that one. So that becomes the 9 on the bottom bauble. There's a 6, 7, 8 triple here, so this has got to be a 1 and that's got to be a 6. That can't be 6 now, because it's the set. These two digits are the same, aren't they? And that 1 is giving me the 1 and the 5, which I think we should probably preserve our colouring there, just so that we have that little boon. Are we going to get a 3 in the corner for Christmas? Not on the left side of the grid. But there is a chance, actually, isn't there? I think. There is a chance here only. I mean, this is a 2, 3, 4 triple. 2 is definitely in one of the... 2 could be in the corner and ruin it. That is not 2. Okay, well, probably the way to solve the puzzle is not to use the powers of Christmas 3s in the corner. Let's go back to this bauble, which we know contains 4, 5 and 6. So the other digit down here is either 3 or 7. So it's 3, 7 and definitely 5. 7 definitely can't go here. But that seems to be fairly open-ended. I feel like 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it feels like there's something going on there, doesn't it? But I can't quite see what it is. Where do we think? Where? Oh, 8 now has... Oh, that's quite good. Yeah, so where's 8 around this quadruple clue? It's on the left-hand side, and that places 8 down here. Which means that's 8, that's 7, that's 6. Which means that's 7, that's 8. Now, at the top of this column, we don't have an 8 here anymore. We need a 1 and a 7. Ah, okay, that's quite interesting for this 5 clue. Where's the 5 around that? That's got to be here. So 5 and 6 go in. I can't see what that's doing. I'm sure it's doing something. Okay, let's go back here then. So this is 5, 6, 8. Let's pencil mark it. 5, 6, 8. The 8 is not at the top. The 6 is not there. And, oh, bobbins, bobbins, bobbins. I don't know. And is it, oh, 9 has to be there. Sorry, that's been available for ages. Have we got, oh, we've got all the 9s. I just hadn't been focusing on them at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, all the 9s are there. Do I think this is going to be 3, 5 or 7, 5? I think it's going to be 3, 5. There, I've said it. That's just a total guess. Do I know? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Where should we look then? Let's look at... Oh, I see. Where's 1 in column 3? It's got to go right at the top. And that's giving me a 1 and a 7. Which feels like it might be interesting. This square is 3... Ah, that's it. That's what this 3 clue's doing. Right. By Sudoku, we haven't put 3 and 5 in column 3. But this, because of this quadruple clue, there is a 3 in one of those squares. So that has to be 5, which means that's 3. And that resolves that quadruple clue. So that's 4, that's 4, that's 2, that's 6, and that's... what do we think that is? 3 then. We still haven't exhausted the possibility of a 3 in a corner. That's 1 by Sudoku. We've not put 2 and 7 into box 7. This column still needs 3 and 7, and we can write them in. Oh no! No, you're joking. I'm sorry. Oh, I was fairly convinced by dint of the fact that we would be wanting Christmas 3, that the testers would have sent me a puzzle with a 3 in the corner, but they haven't, the rotters. 4, 6 and 8 go into those squares, unless I made a mistake, of course, which is possible. But I think it's felt logical, hasn't it? That 5 is doing some work. That's got to be 8 now. Oh, well, we had a big poem, so hopefully that's enough. 5, enough festive themery for the day. 4, 8, so we get 6 in the corner up there. And in this column, well, 3 in the box has to be there. 3 in this box. So 3 in this box is there. Naughty old 3. 2, 4 pair. And we've got 2, 4 and 7. So we write the 7 in here. This is going to work, isn't it? I hope it's going to work. I'm a bit worried, actually. I'm going to get... No, I'm not. I haven't got a deadly pattern. 2, 2, 4, 4. I think that's the solution. That's a great puzzle. That is a great puzzle. Oh my goodness, it's hardly been solved at all. Why has it got no solves? It's great. It's absolutely brilliant. That is... I don't think that was trivial either. I'd be interested to know. I loved the stuff with this 1, 2, 3 and these baubles down here and the way they interacted with the 9 bell. That was high class setting. I really loved the fact that we could use Stonehenge to and combine it with this 3-cell segment to know the polarity of the holly, not the whisper. It's just lovely. What a lovely treat for me at Christmas. Thank you very much, Blobz. Thank you very much if you're still watching. I do appreciate it. We do appreciate it. Let us know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. Let us have your Christmas stories about Sudoku. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.